Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing fantastically well. It's Connor here, and yes, we are back with another Rumour Mill. We're back with another One Leeds video, and I hope your weekend's gone all right. I hope it's gone okay. I don't really enjoy uploading that much on weekends, but you know, when there is sort of some transfer news, I'll come out and of course do a video. And when I say I don't enjoy it, I enjoy speaking to you guys, of course. But sometimes it can be quiet on a weekend. You know, on Friday evening, we saw Calvin Phillips doing his medical at Manchester City, and there's been no announcements or anything like that. So the Rumour Mill can be quite quiet, but don't worry, we've got some bits to chat on today, some bits that you guys will enjoy. And before the video starts, do us a favor, like it, make sure you comment in as always. And yeah, if you want some bonus content, there'll be 2 videos out this week on my Patreon account, videos suggested by you guys, the videos that I do. So please make sure you head on over there and check that out if you want some bonus content. The link will be in the description below. So let's start with Calvin Phillips. We've heard from several sources the other day, actually, I think it was Saturday, that apparently Jack Grealish was a huge factor in Calvin Phillips speaking to Manchester City originally. And apparently he was a huge factor in just him agreeing the deal. Now, listen, I know a lot of people say, well, obviously Pep Guardiola, Erling Haaland, Kevin De Bruyne were the biggest factors, but I do almost think that relatability from Jack Grealish would have made a huge difference to Calvin Phillips, because I think he will have been umming and ahhing. He's a Leeds fan. I think all of us, if Manchester City was presented to us as footballers, you know, it was the increase in wage, the increase in possibilities of trophies, etc., we'd all definitely consider it, even if we're Leeds born and bred, which we all are, obviously. Well, some of us aren't, but you get my drift. Listen, we'd have all considered it, wouldn't we? But I think that extra push, it is vital that you speak to someone who's done something very similar. Obviously, Jack Grealish moving from Aston Villa to Manchester City in a move which was going to, you know, really frame his life, because he could have been a hero at Aston Villa. He wasn't. He moved on to Manchester City, and it's not really worked out for him so far. I think it will in the long run. But, you know, that consideration, I think really Jack Grealish would have had a little bit of an impact on Calvin Phillips, you know, telling him the adaptation period, what it's going to be like under Pep Guardiola, why he should be joining. So I think a lot of fans, when I put that out on the One Leeds Twitter account, were sort of diminishing it and saying, you know, well, he's got Kevin De Bruyne, he's got Pep Guardiola. But they are all fantastic values. They are all fantastic things that are going to attract Calvin Phillips. But that additional push would have been needed. It would have been needed because I do fully believe Calvin Phillips is all in with Leeds United, and someone who can sort of compare. You can compare and contrast moves, which you'd have been able to do that with Jack Grealish. So there you go. Apparently Huddersfield Town are in pole position to sign James McAtee. James McAtee, obviously an under-23 at Manchester City. Him and Cole Palmer, probably the highlights of that Manchester City under-23 setup. It looks like Cole Palmer's made the step up. James McAtee very, very close in and behind, did incredible numbers in the under-23s last season, looks absolutely on fire. Huddersfield Town apparently want him on loan. Obviously, Leeds would like a permanent transfer, and I believe you're looking at Brighton as well, who are looking at a permanent transfer. However, James McAtee has today, according to several reports, said that he wants to stay at Manchester City, said he wants to develop himself, said he wants to stay under the sort of management of Pep Guardiola to develop and you know, really edge himself into that Manchester City first team a la Phil Foden. So yeah, wait and see on that one. I do think McAtee would be a great signing for Leeds United. I really do. I think it'd be a top signing. Raphinha is willing to wait for Barcelona to put their finances in order, even if it means spending another 6 months or a year at Leeds United. Now, it's a tough one, this, isn't it? Because we know Raphinha's qualities. We know, you know, the saga that's going on at the minute, but it's not good, is it? From Raphinha's side, he wants to go to Barcelona. Apparently, Barcelona are only going to be paying Leeds in installments, and apparently they can only really afford up to, I think it's 51, 52 million. Which isn't enough, you know, when Chelsea have essentially put 60 million on the table. It's getting so boring now. It's like you just want to stop it and move on. You really do. Stop it and move on. And I think the problem with it now is I'm actually more in the camp of, if Leeds United are looking at Cody Gakpo, if Leeds United are looking at Charles de Ketelaere, I'd rather that be done. It's spreading the wealth amongst the squad. It's building up the foundation. It's covering a second striker position. It's also covering an attacking midfield position in Cody Gakpo and Charles de Ketelaere. It's 2 elite youngsters as well. You're almost wanting Raphinha to go now because of the saga, because he doesn't really want to be at Leeds anymore. He wants to be at Barcelona, and essentially his value is going to go down. You know, we keep him for another year. Yeah, it'll be great. But are Leeds United going to prosper in the Premier League with Charles de Ketelaere and Cody Gakpo at a higher level than they would do by retaining Raphinha's services. Listen, to match his output is going to be something extremely difficult, even if we brought those two in. And this is all on the premise that we bring those two in, by the way. But I'm almost of the mindset now that with Leeds almost leading the chase for Charles de Ketelaere now and his numbers and how insane he is, if we can bring him in and another, I would rather Raphinha go, because his stock is so high now as well, Raphinha. We have to consider that. And yeah, I think at the minute, if he's going to dig his heels in and say, look, I want to stay at Leeds, I'm going to wait for Barcelona, it doesn't really feel right. It doesn't really feel right. It's like he doesn't want to be here, obviously, and I get that. He doesn't want to affect his World Cup chances by going to Chelsea and potentially not being in the starting lineup, although I think he will be in the starting lineup. And I just think it would be a bad mistake on Leeds' front. I think Leeds have to sell him this summer. I really do. And, you know, the quality of player he is just insane. We all know that. But I just fear for his value, I fear for his stock, and I fear for what Leeds are going to be able to do, because we're not going to be able to invest in two quality attacking players if Raphinha doesn't go. Leeds need that money. It's the Leicester model. It is the Leicester model. Although Angus Kinnear did say that the third year of being in the Premier League, second year was going to be, you know, a little bit they were going to step back. First year, they were going to really go for it. The third year, they're really going to go for it as well. But that is obviously everybody on the premise that Leeds United sell players. If they're basing it on the Leicester model, they can go for it, but they need to sell players. Can't just be bringing players in. Some fans seem to think Leeds can just bring players in without letting any players go. It's not how football works. You know, there needs to be an equilibrium. There needs to be a balance. It's a tough one. It really is a tough one. But I think it wouldn't be a good scenario for Leeds to just keep hold of Raphinha, because we need more investment in the offensive third. We need more going on up top. And if he doesn't move on, if Leeds can't really bring in a top level striker, if Leeds can't bring in another attacking midfielder, I mean, what are we left with? Like Raphinha, which is amazing, but, you know, we still don't know if he fits the system. We know the two other lads who potentially would come in would fit the system. And he's going to be going in either January or June, you know. And what if Leeds weren't able to invest in those positions and then were massively affected for it? What if Bamford got injured again? You know, there's a lot of circumstances, but I just think it leaves Leeds in the lurch a little bit. RB Leipzig are reportedly lining up a move to sign Feyenoord midfielder and rumoured Arsenal target Orkun Koku, with the Bundesliga side set to lose Tyler Adams to Leeds United. According to Bild, which is a good German network, the East German Giants have identified the Turkish international to replace Adams. Now, the annoying thing about this is, the really frustrating thing about this is, I wanted Koku. If you are part of the Patreon, you will know that the Feyenoord youngster was someone who I was talking about. I was saying he could be a great replacement, actually, for Raphinha in an attacking sense, because, you know, I don't think he'd be a direct replacement for Adams, because he's more of a central midfielder, attacking midfielder. But it just shows that Leipzig's recruitment is clearly going to be very, very good. If they get rid of Tyler Adams, they're going to bring in a player who can play in those central spaces, who is very, very good. Koku's an excellent player. His numbers are very, very good. And that's who Leeds should be going for. Someone like that, you know. But yeah, Tyler Adams, I'd be really disappointed with Tyler Adams. I can't lie. I'd be disappointed with Tyler Adams. So I am sort of hoping that doesn't happen. You guys might disagree with that. I don't mind him, but listen, he's barely started any Bundesliga games this season. It just feels like it'd be a step back, and it just almost feels like it's someone who really, really wants to come to the Premier League. Leipzig have now lowered his value. Yeah. Listen, the lowering of value is great. Apparently it's between 12 to 15 million euros. That's great for Leeds, but it's almost like, what's the ambition? You know, is he really going to, are there really any other clubs in for him? I think Sevilla had a little bit of interest, but then you look at Mo Kamara and there's 3 or 4 clubs in for him. It's going to cost a lot of money because he's a quality player. You get what you pay for. And I think a lot of Leeds fans would be really disappointed if we were to then get Tyler Adams. It'd feel a real step down. So, yeah. Apparently, Crystal Palace are the latest club to show interest in signing Wolves midfielder Morgan Gibbs-White. According to The Sun, looks like that's sort of signed, sealed and delivered in terms of Leeds not going in there. However, I just spoke to you guys about Mo Kamara, and apparently, I mean, there's a journalist called Don Mitchell who I do follow on the socials, and he's got a lot of stuff right with RB Salzburg. He made a big claim on Friday, I believe it was, that Leeds United is signed, sealed and delivered with Mo Kamara. He's going to become a Leeds United player. I think he got the Mwepu deal to Brighton spot on. I think he's got a couple of other RB network signings absolutely spot on. Hasn't got the blue tick. A lot of people just won't listen to him because he's not got the blue tick, but it seems like he's got his ear close to the RB sort of rumours and all this sort of stuff. So yeah, apparently Leeds have signed Mo Kamara. It's all behind closed doors and it's going to happen on Tuesday. So I don't know. I have no idea. But what I can tell you is going to happen on Monday is it looks like Darko Gyabi, the Manchester City midfielder, who's going to be coming on to Leeds United shores, obviously with Calvin Phillips going the other way, and that is expected also the Phillips news to be announced on Monday. Guys, have a great weekend. Please sign up to the Patreon if you want some bonus content. If you want to give some additional support to the channel after the video has been done, it doesn't have to be live like it isn't right now. You can go to the bottom and there should be like a little carousel where under the join and subscribe button, there's a thanks option. And if you want to donate to the channel, all goes back in. And yeah, all goes back into the channel. And that'd be absolutely fantastic. Don't need a PayPal or anything like that. But guys, have a great day and I will see you.